Go. Jaden Williams now officially off the board. Just take a look at that selection. So guys, take me through this. Williams on tape. We've been talking about Arizona in the class, trying to fill out some needs here, but going with the tackle from Ole Miss.
Yeah, Ole Miss right tackle. And he went ahead of his teammate Diego Pounds, who I thought would be off the board before Jaden Williams. But there is some love for Jaden Williams. He's got the ability to move in space and get guys blocked. He's kind of a straight up and down player, so it's a little bit surprising to see him get to his blocks on the move. But Blake Miller is also like that. You can't really just judge it off the lack of knee bend sometimes, because a lot of what he does is on the move. So Jaden Williams has a lot of work to do from a pass pro standpoint. I think it's could be a little tough for him to make that roster the first year. He may be one of those practice squad players Bucky was talking about, but I think this is exactly the type of position you want to play.
Oh, LZ. I seen that before.
I don't even like their draft this year. They got the worst draft. I can't remember who all they've taken, but
it's time.
I've got to try to. Oh no, not the hat again.
It's time.
Not the hat.
It's little hat time.
Man,
you're never going to live that down.
No, I should have. Yeah. And I remember they said, Lance, who is your hat on the cap on the draft is what it was. And I'll never forget. I said, I like the fact that I like what Dallas has done in day 2.
He didn't look at the size.
I went for the hat. I didn't look at the size.
He didn't look at the size.
And he goes, all right, we're coming back. 10, 9, 8. And I'm like, oh, and I realized, oh my gosh, this is a fitted cap. It's like, you see right there.
The little hat club.
Yeah. And I didn't have time to pick another team because they had a B-roll all set up. They had cowboy.
You know what? At that point you say to hell.
I should have just
B-roll.
Did this.
I should have just did this.
No, what fun is that?
Yeah. Go
put
it on. And Money Smith at the time was just killing. He knew it was a huge mistake for me to put that on. He knew it.
Well, I'll give you an opportunity to love up Dallas's class. This will be their final pick of the draft. We get a holistic view after we find out who the selection is.
What's up, Pittsburgh? Woo! All right. All right, with the 218th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Anthony Smith, wide receiver, East Carolina. Go Cowboys!
All right, so another opportunity for the Dallas Cowboys on the offensive side to try to improve their ball club. You can see an East Carolina wide receiver actually started his career at North Carolina State. And guys, I look at some of the numbers here. Led the team, 64 receptions, over 1,000 yards receiving, Buck.
Yeah, long, rangy pass catcher. You talk about making that transition from NC State to East Carolina. Here he is just running past people, like just going on the vertical stretch route. And you can just see just a long strider that finds a way to consistently get behind the defense. You're the Dallas Cowboys. You're looking for another vertical threat. George Pickens, is he going to play on the franchise tag or not? You got to stockpile that room with some guys that can do some special things, particularly down the field to create space for CeeDee Lamb.
Back here on Draft Center, another Iowa player taken off of the board. We got a corner, and he's heading to New Orleans. That is TJ Hall, guys. You can see a third-team All-Big Ten selection.
I like TJ Hall a lot when I was watching him, and he didn't test as well as I was hoping, didn't run as well. He ran a 4.59, which I think really hurt his case, and then he had a 1.62 10-yard split, which is fairly slow for a defensive back. You want them to be able to break on the ball a little quicker. Low cut. He's got fast feet, plays with good balance. He's got adequate press strength, so he can play some press. He's going to have to be really a zone corner in the NFL, but he plays fast. He plays faster than his time speed, and I think that's because he's fairly instinctive as well. So it's just a matter of the long speed being good enough.
You go for it, Buck. Sorry.
Well, no, the big thing is guys come from Iowa. They're well schooled, so he's going to be able to play his part, play his role. You've seen a lot of Iowa DBs make that mark in the league.
You can see the Buffalo Bills, a couple of the new members of that squad as they are back on the clock, and the pick is in.
With the 220th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Toriano Pride Jr., defensive back, Missouri.
His game is built on speed, 4.32 40. He blew it up at the combine. jumped well. Really is just all about speed. Right now, you're swinging on a speed trade. I had him going in the 7th round, which is exactly where he went. He does an admirable job of holding up outside. He's a smaller player. They ask him to hold up against SEC competition, and he battled and fought and did a pretty good job. He's got to prove he can slide inside and play the zone. And as Bucky will tell you, you can't even, just because a guy's 5'9" or 5'10", not everyone is built, and even if you're fast in a straight line, that doesn't necessarily mean you're built to play down inside.
No, it certainly doesn't mean that you're built to play down inside or go outside. And that speed thing, it depends on like the turns and transitions and how smooth can you get to that. Can he play the position? But I will say the speed will give him every opportunity to be developed, first as a regular roster player, but secondly as a practice squad player.
Kind of cool here now, another Mizzou player. I feel like we've called a couple of those guys. Mike Nance-John's our researcher to get us the numbers. I think that's about 5 or 6 guys now from Mizzou that we have seen drafted. At least it's in that neighborhood. 6, look at that, it's right on cue. Got the number, got the tally going. It's literally blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. That was a pure guess. It felt like it was in that range, so I got that one right. Cincinnati now on the clock. They have a couple more draft picks, one more after this, still available to them. Just to kind of reset, earlier in the draft, Cassius Howell, Texas A&M kid. It's Cario Davis, the corner they took in the 3rd round out of Washington. And then you were loving up Connor Lew, the kid out of Auburn, and another wide receiver in Colby Young, who was at Georgia.
Yeah, I think Connor Lew has starting potential ability. He's got size. He can play 2 different positions. And then Colby Young is just about, you get a big player. The numbers don't look like, the production is not very flashy, but then when you watch him on tape, you see flashes of an NFL player. He's got great size. So yeah, I think those are good swings that the Bengals, right?
Yeah.
I think those are very good swings that the Bengals took. A couple of players who have more upside than where they were drafted.
You know, the interesting thing too is to go and pull off a move like they do for Dexter Lawrence. I mean, I got to feel like Joe Burrow healthy, knowing that there has been such a devoid of an ability to generate stops. I mean, that's what we've seen from Cincinnati these last couple of years.
Yeah, it's not only Dexter Lawrence is now adding Cassius Howell, like a dynamic pass rusher to the mix. It's hoping that Shamar Stewart can step up and become a consistent player. If this defense just can get to the middle of the pack, we don't even need them to be elite. If they can get to the middle of the pack with this offense, they should be okay.
Okay, I'm just taking a closer look at some of the guys that are potentially available. I know we gave the numbers before. 34 wide receivers, 17 tight ends. So we're creeping closer to the most ever right now between those two positions together. We'll get you a little more context on those numbers in just a moment.
With the 221st pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Jack Andrews, tight end, Texas.
Really good selection here for the Bengals, and I think about James Casey, who is their tight end, and I think assistant head coach is actually his title now. I'm sure he loved Jack Andrews. Jack Andrews came over from Cal. He was the tight end for Fernando Mendoza last year, or year before last. He was productive there, and he was productive for the Texas Longhorns and Arch Manning this year too. I feel like he's a 4th or 5th round player. I think Jack Andrews is a good pass catcher. He's a little long-legged, which shows up in some of the route running. He's not the best blocker out there, but his superpower is his ability to have an impact in the passing game, and I think he does a pretty good job of that. In the 7th round, he will have a chance to compete for that 3rd tight end spot and a chance to go get some catches at some point in the NFL.
By the way, that tally now 52 wide receivers and tight ends together. That is the 4th most that we have had since 1994 when the draft went to 7 rounds.
With the 222nd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Tyrie West, defensive tackle, Tennessee.
Tennessee interior defensive tackle Tyrie West was he was a late write-up for me. His snap and start counts are really low. So you look there and you say, well, why is he going to be draftable? Because he didn't start much. His snap count's even low. But he He's a real thick bone player, which means he has room for even more size. He's naturally big. A chunk of his reps were at 5 technique, where that's not where I don't know that that's his natural position or not. I mean, he's 6'1", so he's not really set up to play that position. I think he's got to get bigger, and he is going to have to really lean on his ability to pressure the pocket and rush the quarterback as a sub-package 3 technique pass rusher to have a chance in the league.
Pretty good defense for that volunteer squad. They've got 5 players that have been drafted, 4 of them coming on the defensive end. Just curious, too, like, do you guys get intel late? I mean, Lance, you just made reference to it. Hey, he's a late right up for me. Buck, I know you've been studying some of the other personnel on that squad.
We always call it chasing ghosts.
Yep.
As you get near the end of the thing, you start getting these phone calls from your college director or higher ups, and they're saying, hey, man, have you heard about this kid from yada, yada, yada? And you're like, I haven't even heard about this guy. I've been around my area 3 or 4 times, and now we chasing ghosts.
Yeah.
And you just never know, because what happens is some of these guys that are ultimately drafted, people have been keeping them in the cubby. Out of nowhere, they pop up. So you better have a report on everybody.
This guy, Gabe Rubio from Notre Dame, I got to write him up. That's an example. He's played like 5 games as an offensive tackle. So there's no way I could have known that unless someone from a team kind of gave me the heads up. I've actually had conversations with teams where if I find somebody, I will, just friends in the league, say, hey, have you seen this guy? Have you seen this guy? And there have been times where Xavier Scott was one who I kind of alerted the Colts about him, and he ended up going there in the practice squad, and he actually moved to the Vikings, where he's been a pretty good player. Oh. But the ghost list, you typically look for big-time testers, right?
Yes.
Big-time testers, as you say, he's got a little something freaky with his athleticism. Is this somebody who could get drafted?
Oh, someone's fired up for the Commanders pick.
Let's go! Hey, first of all, I would like to thank LB and Lee with the Commanders for providing me with this opportunity. And without further ado, your 3-time world champ and 2027 Super Bowl champ, select Adrian Kakalakamani, Rutgers QB. Let's go!
I've only halfway written this. I was just like, you know what? I need to write this up. When I fly out to LA, I still got to write him up. I brought my tape with me. I got halfway through it. Now I'm going to be in the hotel room writing up Rutgers quarterback tape. But I actually liked what I saw from him. His, if you look at the numbers itself, he's had stair-step production where every year you can see he got better. And the same thing, I thought he became so much better this year in terms of eyeballing safeties and keeping them where he wanted, manipulating. Some of the things where the more football you play, Bucky, those are elements that quarterbacks you start to grow, and you can see some of that on tape.
Yeah, you can see some of that on tape. Look, unless I'm mistaken, Garrett Nussmeier hasn't come off the board yet, right?
Nope.
No, he hasn't.
Like, that's one of the biggest surprises of the day. Like, there has to be a serious medical issue or something like that, because everyone.
He had that.
The thing, but like, I mean, but back to the Commanders, adding a quarterback to the room, you just always want to throw a dart at the quarterback. You just never know. It's the most impactful position. It is also the position that brings back the most currency when you're able to develop and make a trade. Jaden Daniels is a franchise quarterback, but you're always looking for the next one.
Marcus Mariota in that room. Sam Hartman also in that room as well.
And remember, David Blau is elevated to offensive coordinator. His plight was as a long time. I wrote him up. He was a backup journeyman quarterback, so he may have an affinity for these guys and may want to work with them to see if he can develop these guys and to become somewhere where they can be tradable and bring you back some draft currency down the line.
Yeah. What am I missing on Nussmeier? Because I think it's a really good point to bring up here, because I'm going through sort of this list of guys. Like, I think on your rankings, you might have had him 5th.
Oh, I had him. He's in there. I think he might have been 4th.
Yeah, like, I'm just looking right now.
Well, so suffer from a spinal cyst. We'll talk about it in a second.
Hello, this is my friend Ryan, and he has a special message for everyone here. It's true.
With the 224th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select
Robert Spears-Jennings.
Robert Spears-Jennings.
Another safety here off the board here from Oklahoma.
Bucky, if I told you he's 6'2", 205, ran a 4.32 40-yard dash, and then I told you he can play cover teams on punt and kickoff, there's a 100% chance a guy like that's getting drafted.
Sign me up. There's going to be a lot of people that want that kind of player just to bring him into camp and see what he can do. But coaches will be fascinated by the elite traits and see if they can kind of say, hey, maybe he was in the wrong position, but they're going to experiment, see if they can get him on the field.
225th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Jiren Kick, tight end, Oklahoma.
But is he a tight end? When you watch him, 6'2", 234, he was a linebacker until this year, and then he's kind of the toast of Oklahoma this year. So it's kind of strange because as a linebacker, he's not a very good blocker, and I figured he'd kind of have a hammerhead mentality, but you get him in space, teams are just trying to figure out, I know a lot of teams that liked him a lot, they just can't figure out what to do with him because he's more of an H-back, but he doesn't really block right now as a run. You wish he did, but he doesn't. He's got short arms, and yet he catches everything. Anything you throw his way, you think, well, he doesn't have much of a catch radius. He's a linebacker, but he runs well with the ball in his hands. He's fast. He can assault the seams as a pass catcher. So Tennessee's basically saying, I don't know. We're going to figure out what to do with them. Let's just draft him. Let's make sure we get control, and we'll bring him in, and we'll figure things out. Maybe they can develop his run blocking a little bit more. If not, you just find ways to get him on the field. You hope he's a good special teams player, which I think he will be. And then you have a player who is kind of a mismatch, a difficult mismatch target. It's just how do you play a player who is a 6'2" tight end who doesn't block? And he doesn't have long arms, and he's not a typical big slot wide receiver like Bucky talks about the big slots. That's not what he is either. So it's just a lot of mismatched parts, but he's a really good football player.
By the way, with the Kick pick now, and I know we were keeping tabs on this, in terms of the wide receiver tight end combos, 53 now total have been drafted, still flirting with a record. So currently that is the third most that we've had since the draft went to 7 rounds back in 1994. So 58 the record in 2002, in 2015 to 2009, both hitting 54. So got an opportunity to at least match the 54 with still a slew of picks still left available here. So Cincinnati on the clock. Can I get circle back on the Nussmeier conversation real quick? Because you felt good about him. I know Lance gave us the news, the abdominal injury, which at least long-term, no real problem for him.
Yeah,
Coach's son,
such a weird.
right?
Yeah, coach's son. You got intel, like legacy, all those things. I'm just surprised with some of the quarterbacks that have gone. Those other quarterbacks, their highs haven't matched Nussmeier's highs, but the reality of it, didn't have a great final season, did win Senior Bowl MVP, but I don't know if it was too late to turn the momentum regarding this game. This is someone that was well liked in the scouting community leading up to the season, and for whatever reason, it just hasn't caught on.
He was discussed as one of the top 3 to 5 prospects in the draft headed into the year because he's a quarterback, so there's obviously the advantage of being a quarterback where you get pushed up. But he's a little undersized. He has had an issue staying healthy. Durability has been a concern. He's been nicked up. He's not the biggest player. Decision-making sometimes can be a problem. But even when I unpack all of that, the total package of what he brings is still better than a lot of the quarterbacks who've been drafted ahead of him. So I got to think that abdominal issue, I've got to think, or rather the spinal cyst is maybe tracking with why he's fallen.
All right, still an opportunity for him to go and get drafted. Meanwhile, check this out. Look, Pat Tillman, the foundation, has just done amazing work, and what a legend Pat was. I know we've been doing our salute to service, and certainly the importance of what we have seen in that connection with the NFL.
He left the NFL to serve as a U.S. Army Ranger and was killed in action in 2004. His legacy lives through the Pat Tillman Foundation, an NFL Salute to Service partner. Announcing the 226th pick is Tillman scholar, U.S. Marine Corps veteran, and Pittsburgh native Margot Dara, and Pat's Arizona Cardinals teammate Zach Walls. They are joined on stage by speed painter Cody Sable, who drew a live portrait of Pat Tillman. This artwork will be auctioned to support Tillman scholars.
Well, all right. I know all you fine people in the Berg work hard and love this country. I'll tell you, there was one other person who loved this country as much as anyone else. My good friend, my Cardinals teammate, Pat Tillman. Pick 226. This is for you, Pat.
Wow, it's such an honor to be here representing the Pat Tillman Foundation, my fellow Tillman scholars, and the military community more broadly, especially in my hometown with all my Yinzers. Awesome to be here. And so with that, we have a particularly special pick, and that you'll see here in a second why. With the 226th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Landon Robinson, DT, Navy. Go Navy, beat Army.
I mean, you think about that connection, you got to be kidding me here, right? I mean, the Pat Tillman, just the legacy that he leaves behind, and here we go, Cincinnati drafting a kid out of Navy.
Yeah, I mean, you like this. And here's what I'll say, Navy has really come on like gangbusters the last couple of years. Part of that is due to their defense. Hard-working, hard-playing player. The energy, the effort, it shows up. The quickness, he shows. Not a prototypical size player on the inside, but man, you'd be hard-pressed to find a more competitive and a harder playing player than get Landon Robinson.
Yeah, over the last 3 years, he's got 14.5 sacks. I don't know that that's necessarily going to translate to the NFL, but what I do know, and I mentioned this, he may not have ideal measurables, but do not ignore the game tape, because the game tape's really good, and he's lower to the ground.
Hello again, guys. Hey, a lot of you have been asking me what I won for lining up all those Panthers earlier. Now I get a chance to call out a pick for my hometown Panthers, the Carolina Panthers. With the 227th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Jackson Kuwatch, linebacker, Miami, Ohio. Keep pounding.
Here's some of the numbers for Kuwatch here, who is now a member of the Carolina Panthers. Just kind of looking holistically at that class and what they have done. Got an opportunity to try to bolster this defense, guys.
So he's a one-year starter. Was 5 years in college football and a one-year starter, but in that 1 year, 109 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, and 5 sacks. He was a big-time tester as well. So now we got a guy with 1 year of production, but he's a great tester. So you draft him and you develop him, maybe gets practice squad.
Yeah, impact guy. I actually saw him at the Snoop Dogg Bowl, and you could see him sort of like flash in person.
What's up, Pittsburgh? On Wednesday night, my son Jackson behind me, my daughter Adrian, and my beautiful wife, the Queen Bee, flew here from Des Moines, Iowa. Go Hawks! And I just wanted to recognize and say thank you to all the locals working this event, working at Acrisure, working at Point Park, working at the hotel, maybe even the hotel bar, who knows? You guys have been absolutely amazing with your kindness and assistance. It exemplifies why Pittsburgh is the one and only true city of champions. With that, I introduce my son, Jackson Phelps, who's a freshman in high school at Dowling Catholic High School in Des Moines, Iowa.
With the 228th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Victor Payne, DB, Kansas State.
Go Hawks!
All right, VJ Payne, it's a guy that I know you guys have kept eyes on during this draft process.
I thought he was 4th, 5th round safety is where I had him. I have him as a good backup to a potential to become an eventual starter. He was very good against the 3 best tight ends in the Big 12. And so that's one of his strengths, is that he can jump up and cover over the slot. He can cover tight ends. And he's just a very versatile, explosive athlete.
Yeah, picks are coming in fast and furious. Back to Pittsburgh we go. It's the Raiders selection.
With the 229th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Brandon Cleveland, defensive tackle, North Carolina State.
So looking at this DT here, guys, career high in terms of the TFLs this past season. Go back a couple seasons ago, 36 tackles. His career high in sacks was actually 3 seasons ago when he had 3 in the 13 games that he played.
Yeah, interior player, you see him there with the athleticism, being able to run it down and chase it. Playing really, really good with his hands. Just good motor, not necessarily the pass rush. You're thinking about more run stopping, but there's some things that he flashes with his short area quickness, his heavy hands. Interesting, son of former NFL wide receiver Tyrie Cleveland.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He is stubby but stout, and just kind of stubby but stout. It's fine. As long as you play in the interior, that's fine. And he's pretty good at muddying those A gaps. That's where he's going to try to make the team is really getting after the running game and trying to make it tougher to run inside for the Raiders. What are we doing with the Raiders so far? I want to take a look at what I don't want to call it's not Tom Brady's draft. I don't want to. That's not what it is. But even though he gets a lot of the attention, but this is can it be a transformational draft for the Raiders?
Spytek's done a nice job, man.
He's done a really good job up to this point.
Yeah, I mean, you look. The easy thing is to point to number 1 with Fernando Mendoza. We knew that was going to happen, but just the late swings, and you highlighted it. As soon as they took McCoy in round 4, you're like, oh, okay, hey, there's a great opportunity.
Mike
to find
Washington is a good swing as well, the running back out of Arkansas.
All right, back to Pittsburgh we go. Steelers.
Steeler Nation, what's up? I got somebody up here. It's my beautiful daughter, and she wants to say something to everybody. With the 230th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Eli Heidenreich, running back, Navy!
So you see, by the way, the excitement there. Look, the Steelers pick, so it's in Pittsburgh. You get that. Also played high school ball in Pittsburgh. This is, by the way, the second Navy player that we've seen drafted. First time that's happened a couple picks ago was Landon Robinson, who, by the way, I want to circle up on in just a moment. Both of these guys we got eyes on at the East-West Round.
I was going to say he's the East-West guy, right?
He's the East-West guy, but I'm going to say this, like 2 of the picks they have, Weegett and then Heidenreich were both guys at the East-West. Yeah. And if you really look at their games, there's some similarities in terms of their versatility and the way they do it. This is a guy, when you watch Navy, we're seeing him at running back, but he did a lot of stuff from their slot back position, where he's making plays down the field, catching passes, running the ball. He's going to be physical and feisty and all those things. Give him
very cool. Let's go.
How about that?
That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'd heard he got invited. So I think he's going to play wide receiver, actually. Running back, wide receiver combo. His testing is very similar to Christian McCaffrey's testing, believe it or not. So he's a great tester. As Raj stayed around for Eli Heidenreich, who gets drafted.
That's so cool.
And, really, really cool moment there. You can see he stuck around the whole weekend just to be here for a moment like this. That's awesome.
Yeah, really cool.
And this is what you see. What you probably saw at East-West is, like Bucky mentioned, that's a little different. When you're at Navy, that's a little different offense. So you're going to get carries. You're also going to get out of the back. You're going to have to block a little bit. You get out of the backfield. You make some catches. Yeah. He's got the ability, Bucky, to run some. The route running has to get better. But he's got an athletic profile that teams are willing to take a shot with, especially the Steelers.
You know, when I look at him, I think of guys that played for the Patriots, like a Danny Woodhead. I think about Shane Vereen. Yeah. Those guys that were able to be the pass-catching running backs out of the backfield that could create things in space. He's a very unique playmaker. Happy that he has an opportunity to pursue a dream in the National Football League while also serving the country.
Journey and see where he ends up in camp.
Well, maybe we see his name called at some point today.
Maybe we do.
With the 231st pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Ethan Onianwa, tackle, Ohio State.
Came over from Rice. He was a very heralded transfer. A lot of people were fighting for him, and then Onianwa really didn't get as much playing time over at Ohio State, but the traits are there, the potential is there, and this is where you start taking swings on tackles that have some traits and some ability, and you say, we really, all we need to do is see just enough, Bucky, just enough to draft you, get control so no one else can get you as a priority free agent, and let's give you a spin, see what happens. Maybe we throw you on a practice squad.
I mean, that's where we're at right now. The 7th round is about making sure these guys you might as well consider what we call priority free agents. These are guys that we want to bring into camp, so we're willing to expend a draft pick to do it. This gives him an opportunity not only to come into the building with a little bit of a head start on some of the other guys, but it is clearly our intention to give him a shot to not only make the team, but to be on the practice squad if it doesn't go that way.
Two things here. One, did you catch that right after that selection, Montel Jordan? This is how we do it. They started blaring it. I'm like, let's not pot that down. I want to hear that song. It's one.
I'm not sure why we don't do the last. We should just have a rolling soundtrack.
Yes.
Playing underneath us, just something.
Just the beat.
I mean, I don't know about hype music. We're in the 7th round, but maybe a Quiet Storm, something like that.
I like, which would have been good. Lance, that is, just had Pavia saying, hey, maybe second, third best tape among the quarterbacks. Where'd you have it?
I did not have him up there.
Okay.
I watched him play live versus Texas, and he's fine, but he's a little undersized for my taste.
Yeah, you remember, we're not trying to find the best college quarterbacks. It's who's got the best pro potential.
Yeah,
and people sometimes get mixed up.
He's a good player.
He is a good player, but you just don't see him at 5'10" unless they're the first pick of the draft.
What is up, Pittsburgh? Let me hear it for Girls Flag Football. Thank you, PayPal, so much for having us.
With the 232nd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams selects Tim Keenan, defensive tackle from Alabama.
Kind of just what you expect at Alabama. Squared off frame. He plays right there over the nose, can play zero technique, can play one. You can slant him a little bit if you want. I figured he was a 6th, 7th round type of player. He's more of a block eater. And so he's not going to offer much as a rusher. So what you're hoping to see here as the Rams is you want somebody who's going to fight and compete for one of your last spots at defensive tackle. And if he can make it, that's great. But you're not going to see him on passing downs if he does make it. But listen, he played in the SEC. He was a pretty good player there in the SEC. He doesn't stand out from a trait standpoint. But Rams don't really care about that. Like, the Rams have swung and hit on they've hit some home runs on day 3. Home runs on day 3 with guys who didn't have the greatest traits.
By the way, 3-year starter at Alabama, too. So definitely got some good reps, meaningful reps.
Pittsburgh, it's an honor to represent Jag Nation. With the 233rd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Zack Derby, defensive end, Washington. Go Jags! God bless!
So this is a ghost list player, Bucky. This is what we were talking about, Mike. Zack Derby, 6'0", That means he's about 6'5", 247. But here's the numbers. I said, he ran a 4.58. A 39-inch vertical leap. 3-cone drill, 701. Like, these numbers are plus numbers for an edge rusher. And so I'm like, okay, I got to go watch the tape. And what you find is a player who's got some real rush to him. It doesn't manifest itself. You saw that spin move. Like, it didn't manifest itself with a lot of sacks yet. But I guarantee you the Jaguars said, let's grab him. He's got some ability. Let's try to mold him into a player that maybe becomes a rusher because he's got traits.
With the 234th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Baron Morton, quarterback, Texas Tech.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, another Texas Tech guy.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an Elliott Wolf pick. I remember asking, I saw Elliott at one of the events and was just asking about some quarterbacks if I should write up. He goes, I would write up Baron Morton. I said, I wrote him up. I said, are these guys draftable? And he goes, I like him better maybe than some others do. And then lo and behold, they draft him. He's a really tough write-up because I think there was an arm issue with him. So the tape is just not very impressive. He doesn't have zip on his throws. And yet, even with his issue, a little shoulder issue I think he had, that took away some zip from his throws this year, we still went in the playoffs. Like, this is still a playoff quarterback that was very, very productive in the Big 12.
With the 237th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Seth McGowan, running back, Kentucky.
I was one round away from owing you a dinner.
Charcoal is a restaurant. It's a Michelin star restaurant.
Yeah, that's where we're going?
yeah, it's in the area. I had the concierge tell me. No, Seth McGowan is a very interesting, intriguing running back there for the Colts. Some of these numbers, 4'4", 940, 42-inch vertical leap, 10'11" broad jump. More importantly, he plays really hard. Started off at Oklahoma, then he went to Texas College and Butler Community College and New Mexico State, and finally Kentucky. He was the rare 5 college player. Got in a little trouble at Oklahoma, which is where it got a little bumpy for him, but he straightened himself out of Kentucky, and he was a good player there.
In the 2026 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Max Llewellyn, defensive end, Iowa.
Bucky, watch Max Llewellyn and tell me that they don't have a type at Iowa. Lucas Van Ness. You had AJ Epinesa. They had the same kind of guys. That's when you have the same head coach and Kirk Ferentz. You get the same kind of lineman, the same kind of D lineman, the same kind of O lineman.
Same defense coordinator, same defenseman playing, and they play well for a long time. And the one thing that you love about Iowa guys, they're ready for it because they've been well trained, well schooled, and they're workout warriors in the weight room.
The linemen, the linebackers all look the same. Like, it's like you're watching a movie or a series that's gone on for years and years, and they just recast it all the time.
Okay, Gunsmoke.
Okay.
Buffalo's pick is in. We send you back to Pittsburgh.
With the 239th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Tommy Dolman, punter, Florida.
Tommy Dolman was another one that I thought could get drafted. He's one of the punters we talked about. 5th-year senior, 2 seasons as the full-time punter at Michigan and 1 at Florida. So he transfers that rare. Well, it's not even rare. A lot of these transfer portals are happening with kickers and punters now too. He's got good size. He's got pretty good hang time. The power is not the same for him. He needs to get a little bit better in terms of being able to boom it out of there. But yet another punter off the board before Brett Thorson, which is, once again, this is, for a lot of you may not care, but for some of us who follow these punters, Thorson's a pretty good punter. He still hasn't come off the board.
Bills, by the way, with that selection, as of right now, it looks like they are done for the NFL Draft. The Jags, here's their pick.
With the 240th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Parker Hughes, linebacker, Middle Tennessee.
Looks like I got another one to write up.
Yeah, I actually didn't even hear the name. So Parker Hughes out of Middle Tennessee is the selection for the for the Jags.
With the 241st pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Armage Reed-Adams, guard, Texas A&M.
I got to tell you, look, sometimes you catch film at a different time, and I was so excited on it. I had to hold back judgment on it. I thought this dude was a mauler brawler. I loved the way that he mashed folks. He was a
right
bully at the point. Violent, finishes nasty. The nasty was everything. And he chased alongside Chase Basantis. These two guys on the inside, they controlled it. But he is the masher. Don't need to worry about getting the furniture moved. He gets it done.
Reed-Adams, once again, one of those guys that we had an opportunity to just be around. You look at some of the measurables and some flexibility there. 27 starts at right guard, 11 at left guard. As we take you back to Pittsburgh, it is Seattle's selection.
Good afternoon, Pittsburgh. I bring you greetings on behalf of the 250,000 men of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, and on behalf of the 3 million collective members of the Divine Nine organizations.
And I bring you greetings not only from UNCF, but Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
And with the 242nd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select
Devin Eastern from Minnesota.
3-year starter, loose upper body movement, kind of helps him slip blocks and find gaps. The production did not stand out. That's something that probably why he's in this range. Kind of high cut frame and below average pad level, which hurts. He's going to have to play a little bit lower so he can improve his anchoring and the ability to play with better leverage. And he ends up on the ground too much. You've got to stay off the ground. But it is a player who I think he's got some technical stuff that he does in terms of to help him sink, and that's something he'll have to do. And he gets into centers very, very quickly with his hands. It's just a matter of playing with better knee bend if he can do that, because that can really improve. You talk about what do I like from offensive linemen. What I like from offensive and defensive linemen is knee bend, because you lower the pad level, you immediately improve your leverage and your strength at the point of attack.
All right, Houston Texans back on the clock here, and this will be their final selection of the draft.
With the 243rd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Aiden Fisher, linebacker, Indiana.
Another Hoosier off the board. That's what happens when you go and win a national championship. NFL teams want some of your guys. This is actually one of the more talented linebackers in the country.
Yeah, he has real instincts and feel for the game. And what D'Amico Ryans probably loves about him, I would guess, is that I read a few different, he came over from James Madison. He's not a great athlete. Like he doesn't have the NFL athleticism, which I think is going to make it tough on him. But one of the things he does exceptionally well is gets people lined up. And they say he is a true extension of his defensive coordinator on the field. And he did that at James Madison, and he did it at Indiana. So anytime you got that proverbial, it sounds cliche, but that coach on the field, I mean, coaches eat that up.
Let's go, Birds, baby, fly, Eagles, fly! Pittsburgh, thank you for all the love. With the 244th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Cole Weski, DB, Texas Tech. Let's go! Fly, baby!
Cole Weski, big safety, who plays his best football around the line of scrimmage. That's where he's best. He's a run defender near the line of scrimmage. He's physical, has a real attention to detail as a tackler, which is one of the things that stands out. From an athleticism standpoint, he's kind of an average athlete. I think that's going to show up if he's forced into matchup situations and coverage. But he can play a little bit of zone for you. But where he's going to make where he has a chance to stand out is if he plays near the line of scrimmage and acts as an add-on defender near the line. A run stopper, that I should say.
Let's get back to Pittsburgh with the Patriots selection. They got a couple more before round 7 wraps up.
With the 245th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Jan Miller, running back, Alabama.
All right, someone break this down for me, because we talked about this running back class, not exactly the strongest, although we did see 2 taken obviously early. 7th round, you've used the phrase throwing darts, like why not? Alabama
we're throwing darts, Jam. I love the nickname. Where we're at in this process when it comes to running backs, when we talk about taking them late, it's because they have a singular trait. They're not viewed as workhorse backs that can do everything as a 3-down running back, but they can have a specific role. And Jam can get downhill. He has some physicality and toughness to his game, a little bit stiff when it comes to it. The cuts are going to be pretty direct and a little robotic, but look, man, he's physical enough to kind of make it happen. we'll see what it looks like. He has an opportunity to go to the right spot. When we talk about the Patriots, they give guys chances, and so Rondé Stevens, Trayvon Henderson, he's going to have a chance to kind of crack the lineup.
They were looking for a third running back, and Jam might be it. Ran a 4.42 40, which I didn't see that on tape. I was kind of surprised at the combine when he ran that. 10-yard split of a 1.53, which shows that he's got some initial burst. The vertical and the broad jump, not that impressive. As you said, Bucky, is one of those guys who straight line has a little bit of juice, but then when you ask him to wiggle and things like that, that's not really his game. So he'll get a shot there. There's a spot open for that third running back position. There's going to be a competition there, so we'll see if Jam Miller can fill that role.
A couple of things here. One, he is the 14th running back that has been selected. So if we don't get another one, that would be the fewest ever in the 7-round draft. That's number one. Ever.
Well, we may have a run on running backs here.
Might actually happen here. We still got a couple more picks. Jam Miller, I don't even think he needs the NFL money. NIL deals, CVS, Hollister, Skippy, and Call of Duty.
Oh, you can
get paid.
Just want to keep stretching it out because at the end you become
paid.
What are they doing? Those deals go away when you're a civilian. Like they're just not going to give him the money for walking around. You got to keep playing.
Look at this. Do you see a name brand on this? No. I've got no NIL deal. It's just regular coffee, no NIL.
What Lance is saying is that you're open for business. So if you want some real estate, we could throw it out there.
I am open for business. And what is it with Alabama players? We've got Kool-Aid McKinstry, perfect NIL name. Jam Miller, I've heard worse NIL. That's a pretty good one that can bring the NIL to the yard.
Yeah, no, I'm with you here. Denver Broncos have a couple picks still left, 3 more including.
Look at that, Buck. You're missing it. He's sequenced. He's got
sequence here.
He's bedazzled.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's
he's
a lot.
bedazzled.
My name is Madden. And just like the video game,
I've been making draft picks my whole life.
I've been making draft picks my entire life.
With the 246th pick.
And with the 246th pick.
In the 2026 NFL draft.
In the 2026 NFL draft.
The Denver Broncos select.
The Denver Broncos select.
Miles Scott.
Miles Scott.
Defensive back, Illinois.
Another DB, boys, off the board. And guys got a little bit of a nose for the football when you look at some of these interception totals over the last couple of seasons. The last 3 at 7 of them.
Yeah, another conversion, another guy that was a wide receiver that made the move to defensive back, former walk-on. So you understand he's going to have the work ethic and the toughness to be able to get it done. The versatility should lead to more plays on the ball because the ball skills as a former wide receiver should be solid. And then it's about making tackles and making plays. But you see, he made more than enough plays over the last 3 years to be in consideration of being a draft pick.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some production. 7 interceptions in 3 years. Like, there's some actual production that pops. Not real fast, 4.6, 240. I'd like you to be a little bit faster. But we're in the 7th round. Ball production, size, that matters.
Patriots back on the clock. Just a few minutes ago, they took a running back in Jam Miller. We'll see what the selection is.
With the 247th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Quintavius Hutchins, linebacker, Boston College.
So there's another Bill O'Brien
guy, yeah.
Yeah, another Boston College draft pick. They didn't have a lot of wins, but they've got some guys who've got a shot to make NFL teams. Quintavius Hutchins is a little bit undersized as an edge defender, but boy, does he play. He punches above his weight. Just 6'3", 233 pounds. Didn't test well, 4'7", 440. Did have a pretty good vertical jump, 37. Now that we got that out of the way, he's undersized, but he's really strong. He's physical with his block take-ons. He's got the ability to press and separate from edge defenders from blockers when he gets into them. He's got good hip bend and hard driving feet that can create some momentum as a pass rusher around the edge. There's some things that he does well. He's just not as big and explosive as you typically look for, and that's one of the things that hurts him in the spot.
Yeah, I'm looking at what the Patriots have done so far with some of their draft picks. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, kind of quiet here, but I think this still circles back where they spent so much money last offseason in free agency. It was hits, Bucky, across the board. Guys were able to stay healthy. It was a path to the Super Bowl, but yet again, it felt like such a significant, when I say significant, it felt like a wide margin between them and Seattle watching that game.
Yeah, it's the jump start. I'm sure if you asked the Patriots this time last year, they didn't expect that they would be in the Super Bowl, but it worked. The chemistry, the continuity, connectivity, all of it worked. But now it's about building upon that foundation. They jump-started the program last year with a bunch of free agents, a bunch of veterans that understood the messaging, that understood the culture. Now you want to supplement that with better players and kind of pick it up where they left off. We'll see if they can get it done, but this is a solid team in New England.
I mentioned the Jam Miller selection, which was a couple picks ago for the Patriots. I told you it was 14 running backs that were taken. The record for the fewest in the 7th-round draft is actually 15. So we only have a handful of selections left.
We're breaking the record this year.
You don't think it's going to happen?
No, because I just so there's 14 right now?
Yeah, 14.
So 15 is the record.
All we need is one. All we need is one.
Cleveland's not doing it. I don't think Kansas City's doing it. The Ravens drafted one already.
Yeah,
the Eagles got 2 picks. The Eagles can do it.
Yeah, the Eagles could.
Broncos run on and got one.
The Eagles could. Ballard already drafted one over there. Seattle only has one.
Oh.
Seattle could at 255. We'll find out if we tie the record. You know, we talked about it being a weak running back draft, and it manifests itself on draft day. It's what it is. It's one of the weaker ones we've seen in a long time.
You have your list in front of you. I'm just curious who that running back could even be. Actually, here's the good news. You got a moment to look it up because the Browns, we have their selection.
Carsen Ryan, tight end BYU.
Yeah, good athlete, good player. Had a really good year this year over with BYU. Kind of came on out of nowhere. Was really a pretty talented pass catcher this year. And if I remember correctly, just bringing up my notes, I want to say there was something that stood out about him. He was one of the late ghost list players, and I gave him a draftable grade. Had him in the 6th or 7th. He's a combination tight end. He's got good size, adequate strength, but he is a really aggressive player, and that's what stood out. I'm reading my notes here. He blocks with good inside hands. He is more effective against linebackers and DBs in space, though, as a blocker, but he looks to finish them with a good deal of aggression. Needs to do a better job of securing the catches through contact. If you're going to be a tight end, you're expected to make tough catches in tough spots, but he was a pretty good tester as well. So broke out this year, 45 catches, 620 yards. Sometimes it just takes 1 year and you're on draft boards.
Two tight ends that they've now taken.
The Browns?
Yeah, because in the 5th round it was Joe Royer.
Joe Royer. Keep taking them.
Well, and that sort of speaks to the numbers here. So we have 20 tight ends that have been drafted. That combination number of tight ends and wide receiver, we are tied now for the second most in a 7th-round draft, sitting at 54. The record's 58 at 2000, back in 2002. I don't think we're going to hit that record just based off of the selections and the teams that are going right now. But just once again, some context around just the significance of this year's draft. Do you have that name on the running back that we could see?
I got a couple guys you could look for. Potentially Jamari Taylor, running back out of Florida, would be one that I've got rated as a draftable running back. Le'Veon Moss from Texas A&M.
Oh, yeah.
Roman Hemby from Indiana. And Rasul Faison, South Carolina.
We thought Kansas City could think about running back here. We'll find out.
With the 249th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback, LSU.
Bucky, is this one of these picks where you get a guy you know has some talent, and you say let's develop him, and if Pat stays healthy forever, that's great. We might end up flipping this player for a 3rd rounder in the future.
Look, you're the 7th round. You're taking chances. He's clearly the top-rated player on the board. Mm-hmm. You're Andy Reid, a proven quarterback developer. Why not? Like, maybe you uncover something that is terrific when it comes to it. He's son of a coach. He understands how to play the game at a high level. Man, you bring him in, and maybe you have either a guy that's a career backup or someone that surprises you and becomes more than that. I absolutely would kick the tires on Garrett Nussmeier at this point in the draft if he was still on the board.
Sure. I mean, gives you a shot, right?
Man, look, remember, Coy Detmer. I want you to think about all the quarterbacks that Andy Reid has parlayed. Coy Detmer, A.J. Feely, Kevin Cobb. What he did developing Michael Vick, when Michael Vick was incarcerated, comes back, rehabs and brings him back. Donovan McNabb. He is a quarterback guru. You always take a shot on the quarterback if you have one there. Man, kudos to Kansas City for maybe stealing one. Hidden gem.
This late, to your point, why not?
Oh, yeah, man, that's a tough day for Garrett Nussmeier. Man, imagine this. You're projected a year ago to be a first-round pick. You come back to build upon that, and you go in the 7th round. You have to watch all of these dudes that in your mind you're clearly better than.
We saw it last year.
Yes.
We saw it last year with Quinn Ewers. Was considered a first-round pick, and he was a 7th-round pick.
But balled out when he had a chance to play.
Please welcome Pittsburgh native, U.S. Marine Corps and Army veteran Daryl Jackson.
What's up, Steel City? With the 250th pick of the 2026 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Rashawn Benny, defensive end, Michigan.
Why are they booing that guy? I don't know why he's getting booed. You can't be booing Rashawn Benny. He didn't do anything. He just holds up at the point of attack. Rotational defender from Michigan. Kind of fits in line with the Michigan. Talked about now his game against Nebraska was really, really good. He stays very, very active, gets after it with his hands, and being a pocket pusher is kind of one of the things that stands out. You got to be able to slip off the pocket, become a little bit better rusher. That's going to be his way on the field. I don't think he's not the stoutest run defender. So what you're going to have to do is become you have to become more disruptive. And I think the best way to find a field is showing teams that you can create problems for guards and centers as a sneaky rusher. You do see he does have a little arm over where he can get into the backfield and cause a little muss and a little havoc from time to time. Pretty good pickup here. I figured he was more of a 5th round rotational defensive tackle, but scouts tell me running back and defensive tackles, they did not like these two positions this year in the draft.
It was really thin, and you're doing those things. But if you're Baltimore, you're at this stage, man. You're always looking for guys to have opportunity. You talk about having a 5th round pick on them. This stage, let's bring him in. Let's see what you got.
By the way, the Philadelphia Eagles on the clock, back-to-back picks here at 251 and 252. I know we were having this conversation before that last
About
pick.
taking running backs? This is a great chance, so I can win.
You think we got a back here?
Why not, hopefully.
What do we have, 7 picks left, Buck?
7 left.
Picks. Come on, we got to get one.
Okay.
Spin the wheel.
I'm cheering for a record.
No, spin the wheel. Come on, spin the wheel. This Price is Right, we're back.
Here are the selections that are left. So a couple things to unpack here. We were talking about tight ends. I gave you the context before. So now 54 is the number between wide receivers and tight ends total. That is the second most, ties the second most that we've seen in a 7-round draft. 20 tight ends as of right now, which is an impressive number. But what I think is even maybe more surprising about that, when you look at the collection, 4 of these teams have taken 2 of these tight ends. So you got the Dolphins, the Ravens, the Browns, and the Jags, all in the AFC. You were telling me about 13 personnel and what the Rams were able to do in the NFC. But I think there's some AFC squads that might be taking a page out of Sean McVay's book.
Absolutely. No, the one thing we know about the league, it's a copycat league. And when people spot a trend that has been successful for one team, they're quick to jump in. Because of the Rams' success last year in terms of just lighting up scoreboards with 13 personnel, more teams were going to come into the season intent on being multiple with the tight end sets. 2 and 3 tight ends on the field, creating various mismatches. You're seeing the draft reflect that strategy.
Yeah, definitely an impressive number of tight ends, because candidly heading into this thing, what was the conversation we had? Kenyon Sneak and then a wide gap. And I guess what we learned from that is the wide gap just means a whole lot of rounds. To hear your name called is how to think of it. Meanwhile, Philadelphia, once again, back-to-back picks. Here's 251.
Pittsburgh. You are now witnessing history being made. With the 251st pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select UR Bernan,
defensive tackle international pathway program. Let's go! Come on.
He's from Nigeria, and you can't tell because he's wearing a suit and he's got a flag draped over him. But this is a dude who's got 6% body fat. The numbers are wild. He's 6'4" and 5/8", 306 pounds. He ran a 4.63 40, a 39-inch vertical. That would have been the best, by the way, the combine numbers for a 300-pound player since 2003. And he never played football growing up in Nigeria. He was a basketball player because that's what they do there. But nonetheless, why not in round 7? They might have a dude here.
No, so I did some work on him. So the pathway numbers dropped. I had them sent to me by Mark Bulgarian, who used to work here. He works over at International Player Pathway. And I said, I got to get some, these are crazy numbers. I've never seen anything like this. So I asked him to send me some tape, and I got some tape of his workout. Now, this is what I can tell you. So he's never played football. They've got him at defensive tackle right now because that's that's just the measurables you think. But he's built like a defensive end, like he's ripped. He played basketball. He is a power lifter as well. He does not move fluid or naturally. Football is going to come, football is going to be a journey for him. And so if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, now remind me again, Bucky, it seems like they took a player pathway player who had never played football before
Who just got paid recently.
Mailata.
Yeah.
Rugby player that they figured out, and you are right. He's a big ball of muscle. He is a little stiff, but those numbers are ridiculous. Here's the thing.
Watch this broad jump.
We got to get him on the field before the other guys come. Because if he's never played football before, like to just help, we got to teach him how to put his pads in. We got to do all of these different things. He may have to come on a separate mini camp to be able to do it. But I
think his bench reps really high also.
He looks the part.
I don't have the bench reps, although it's got to be. He won a competitive weightlifting competition a couple years ago. I found this number just looking, deadlifting 666 pounds. Like, I don't even want to tell you what happens when I go to the gym to
lift on
deadlift,
this,
right?
B-roll.
Like, what is going on?
Yeah. So I asked
look
about
at his legs.
So I asked about offensive tackle, and they said that's not really the position for him. You're just right now, Philadelphia is just scanning. They're just going to see how does he move, how are his hands, what's his aptitude for picking up how to use hands. Yeah. Like you're searching because you've got a freak show athlete and things that we haven't seen very often in the NFL. Just seeing what you can do.
It is so hard to make a guy defensive lineman who's never played. Like that is just a huge challenge. Normally we see it tight end. As a former basketball player, you see tight ends make the thing. Offensive tackle.
All right, well, we'll talk more. We'll put a pin in that conversation.
With the 252nd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Keyshawn James Newbie, linebacker, New Mexico.
Yes. So hit my radar with his testing was pretty good. Then I turned on the tape and I'm like, dude, then I had to call a couple teams to say, hey, have you seen him yet? Have you seen him yet? Have you seen him yet? Because he's from New Mexico. He transferred into New Mexico. He was at Montana Tech. Then took a step up from there to Idaho. Then took a step up and became first team all Mountain West Conference, led the team with 15 tackles for loss and 9 sacks. And I'll tell you, Seth, every time he made the jump, he showed out. Keeps his eyes on the prize as a pass rusher. He's got really good get off and is a relentless rusher. Not great. He's not a big player, but he uses his size, what he has, he's built a little lower to the ground. He uses that to bend and get around rushers. Blockers. He is a high effort, high intensity player. He's not a diverse pass rusher, but just effort and intensity matter in the NFL. And he's got very good rush production. So it's everywhere he's been. You like those jumps, Bucky. You go from Montana Tech to Idaho, and everywhere he went, he's all conference. Every single place he played, he's all conference.
Can I just circle back on something? Because this is back-to-back picks for the Eagles. You were just talking about Bernard, and you said, hey, the difficulty D-line.
Oh, look, it is a great story, and it's great to take a chance, but to someone who has never played no instincts, no awareness. We're going to put him down there with the monsters. Did you see those offensive linemen?
Okay, I did, but where would you slot him? Because the old adage, when I talk to the old school football guys, they say, hey, D-line, pin the ears back, whoosh, go. Right? Like, and at that size, that strength.
Do you have that level? He was a basketball player. So, if he's a rugby player, maybe that's something. Does he have that level of aggression? Like, you got to be built for violent, you got to be kind of a violent guy.
Brock Lesnar did this, right? I think Brock Lesnar played ball for a minute or two.
Yeah, he did.
Got in there.
Minnesota Vikings.
Got pinballed around. Like, it's a challenge. I don't know where we can put him because it looks good. The numbers are great and all of that. But playing, to have never played is a different animal. Max Ahanature had never played, going to junior college and goes to whatever. But, like, he talked about the position at tackle. In looking at it's just going to be hard. It's going to be a hard transition.
It's hard, and I didn't love the way he moved, but you got to take a chance with the lottery ticket. There's another IPP player named Joshua Weru who moves incredible, and he was on like his country's national rugby team. So actually, I give this guy a chance, the IPP player, to become an NFL practice squad.
What is up, Pittsburgh? Have you missed me yet? It has been an honor tonight, truly. And now, with the 253rd pick.
In the 2026 NFL Draft.
In the 2026 NFL Draft.
The Baltimore Ravens select.
The Baltimore Ravens select.
Evan Baronston, guard Northwestern.
So he was fun to watch. I didn't want to like him as much as I did, but I just did. Because he just doesn't have traits. Like he's shorter. He doesn't have long arms. He came over from South Dakota State, and then like all he did was get after it. 51 career starts. He's another stubby guy, but really, really strong. He's going to be a 26-year-old rookie. So this is the problem. He's 26. If he were 22 years old, I think he's maybe a fourth rounder and taking snaps at center, and you're going to see if he can be center guard. But he's a good football player. He's just going to be 26 years old, and he's tough as all get out.
With the 254th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Dion Burks, wide receiver, Oklahoma.
The fall ends.
Tick tock, tick tock. I got to imagine in the Burks household, everyone's sitting and staring at the clock waiting for this one.
I don't know what happened, Buck. He ran a 4.3. He's got great testing. He's got some, something's going on. Maybe it's medical. I don't know. But this guy should have been off the board by no later than the fourth round.
Yeah, you would have thought he was gone. Like, just given the profile, the numbers, the production that he put over time, you would have thought that he would have gone much sooner. We'll see, but now he gets an opportunity. It doesn't matter all that other stuff. He goes to a place where he has a terrific opportunity. Could be a bit of a Josh Downs clone when we think about how to match him up in Indianapolis.
All right, 3 more selections before the NFL Draft is complete. Seahawks up, and then it is back-to-back picks for the Denver Broncos.
With the 255th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Michael Dansby, defensive back, Arizona.
So another Arizona player, Brett Brennan, with the job that he is doing around this Arizona squad, got another corner guys that's off the board.
Well, I mean, you have Genesis Smith going, you have Tre'Davious Stukes, you got Dalton Johnson, and now this is the 4th DB from their secondary to be drafted. What an incredible feat by and you see the makeup speed there. It took a little second, and all of a sudden he hit that second gear. And, factor.
With the 256th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Don Bentley, tight end, Utah.
Another Utah tight end making their way to the NFL. 21 tight ends now, guys, drafted. We're now, in terms of that combination, 55 wide receiver tight ends. So now it is now officially by itself the second most in terms of that position group. By the way, and again, another team that's already drafted a tight end. So that is now 5 teams that have decided to draft
2 tight ends.
Can't get enough. I'm telling you, man, it's the trend. Multiple tight ends, being able to dictate the terms. You can take teams out of, remember, everyone on defense, they're operating in these 2 high safety looks. And they're playing soft against the run and using numbers and attacking from downhill there. So when you put extra bodies at the line of scrimmage, you're going to bludgeon those teams in the run game. And so this is a natural chess move to react to the counter. Teams on defense better be rounding the hell of these multiple tight end sets.
This is it.
And if I'm Don Bentley, I'm mad.
I've never hit this, so I probably won't hit this one.
If I'm Bentley, I'm mad. I could have been Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah. It's actually
Thank you, Pittsburgh. My dad actually played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, so he wasn't irrelevant. With the 257th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the 51st Mr. Irrelevant, drafted by the Denver Broncos, the 257th pick is Red Murdoch, a linebacker from Buffalo.
Big Red Murdoch.
Steelers! Go Broncos!
Here he is, Bucky. I want you to watch. You're going to notice it right away.
All right, I'm watching.
He's got a doctorate in one element of linebacker play. He's set an all-time collegiate record. He's the all-time collegiate record setter. His old head coach, Mo Linguist, is the DB coach now for Damani Jackson and in Alabama. And, there it is. 17 forced fumbles.
Oh, wow.
Breaking Khalil Mack's NCAA record.
This guy, like I said, is elite. He's got a doctorate in the punch and skill.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever been better than him, except maybe Peanut. That's about it.
He's feisty.
Oh, yes.
He's feisty at the point of attack.
No, he wants it. He loves the smoke. Loves it. And we better start getting that peanut punch going here in a second, because we can't have a Red Murdoch B-roll without showing that arm coming in there and smacking the ball.
I'm going to tell you right now, the vets better get around him and tell him how to practice, because he's going to be out there trying to take the smoke. And he's going to hit somebody and be like, hey, young fella.
Oh, yeah. They're going to tell him to slow down. If we don't do that.
He's going to hit J.K. Dobbins by accident. And J.K. Dobbins is going to throw the ball at him.
We don't do that in July. That's not how we play in July.